What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 18, Bub. The Peyton Manning edition of the 740 Sports Show. I'm Eric. This is Bub.
I am Bub.
How goes it, Bub?
Good Tuesday.
Great Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you. It was a wonderful, adventurous Tuesday. Did you have a good one?
Yeah, pretty chill.
Yeah. All right.
Not a Monday.
Not a Monday.
Almost halfway through the
we're
week.
almost a hump day, and we're coming to you here on a wonderful Tuesday evening with a lot to anticipate, Bub. A new college top four this evening. We're not going to be talking about it, but we're going to be telling you what we think it should be.
Yeah.
We got Chet and Wemby playing this evening.
Yeah, in about 20 minutes.
Here in about 20 minutes, and a whole lot to talk about in between. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's just go ahead and get right into it, man. College football Saturday. Another epic Saturday of college football. Another fun Saturday of college football. And personally, Bob, I found it to be an informative Saturday of college football. What do you think about that side of it?
What do you mean by that?
I personally thought my Alabama Crimson Tide.
Oh my God, get
took
off
another
of that
step
stupid
forward,
train.
man. Another step forward. It's haunting your dreams now. You're waking up to texts.
No.
I'm waking up to texts. You're waking up to people talking about how great of a team they are.
No,
in the top
I
four.
texted and said I shouldn't have to wake up at 5 a.m. and read a text that says Alabama should be in the top four.
Okay, well, I'm not necessarily going to go as far as to say that they should be in the top four, but let's just go ahead and get right into it, man.
Yeah.
The top four is going to be revealed tonight. It'll be week 3 of what the NCAA has to say, or what the playoff committee has to say about the top four. And, Bub, what are you expecting from the playoff committee tonight, and what are your top 4 teams for the playoffs?
I feel like they're going to keep Ohio State ahead of Georgia. Okay. And then I think Michigan's going to stay at 3, and I know Florida State's going to be at 4, but I think Washington should be at number 4. They've still got way better wins than Florida State.
Okay. I again, one might have something to say about that, Bub. One may.
Here's what I will say. If Alabama had a Heisman contending quarterback,
he just
that averages 350 yards a game, has 3 receivers that average almost 100 a game, that team would be number 1, especially if they had a win against the number 6 team right now, Oregon. And they've just beat number 18 Utah, took down to Caleb Williams, who was a Heisman contender kind of before that game, and then that's when he was kind of out of it. Yeah. But I think he's got a good resume. Washington's been pretty good, and
yeah. I'm not saying that Washington isn't deserving. And Alabama's not in my top 4, just for what it's worth. I got Florida State filling out the number 4 spot for me. I got, personally, I got Georgia, I got Michigan, I've got Ohio State, and then I got Florida State rounding out the top 4. I just feel like Florida State is a more well-rounded team when I look at the defensive side of the ball and how aggressive they play. And they stop the run. I really like what they do on both sides. Is their offense as explosive as Washington's? No. But I do think that their defense is far superior, and I think that they have enough threats to contend in big games. Here's what I love about the landscape, because this is the perfect time of year for these conversations, because I'm looking at the way things start to shape up, right? Because you've got, if Alabama were to beat Georgia in the SEC championship, that's a really strong case for a one-loss Alabama team. Now, hear me out. There's still a lot to be said on the ACC side of things, too. Because if Florida State runs the table, they're going to be unbeaten. Hard not to put an unbeaten Florida State in.
Correct.
But, on the opposite side of that, opposite side of the country in the Pac-12, Washington would have to go through Oregon again.
Yeah.
So, does a Washington team, if they fall to Oregon, that they beat one time already, do they fit into that picture? The committee seems to like Florida State. If they run the table, I got to think they find a way in.
So
you've still got Ohio State, Michigan. Does a loser of that game find its way out? Even though both of those defenses are completely elite.
Ohio State and Michigan, I think the committee's already pretty much said, like,
we're not holding that loss against you.
Yeah, the Big Ten could get 2 in.
Right.
Like, they're the best chance at it.
Right.
So you're saying let's just say Ohio State beats Michigan.
Ohio State beats Michigan. Ohio State's a shoe-in.
Yeah, Ohio State's a shoe-in.
Personally, I think that once the dust settles on this investigation, which I think happens by the time they select the top 4, I don't think they select Michigan in.
So you think they're kind of going to give them the gentleman's nudge out and
Correct.
say, we're not ready for you until we undercover what's going on.
Correct. Now, on paper, when I watch Michigan play, I don't think there's a better team in football. They are not superior offensively, but they lead the country in penalty. They lead the country, and they have the fewest penalties of any team in the country.
They're the most experienced team in the country.
They do not make any mistakes. They have the time of possession's ridiculous. Top 10 or top 15 in the country in time of possession.
Yeah.
And they just have a way of controlling the entire pace of the game. And there's something to be said about those teams. If you can't stop you can't stop the run, you can't stop getting off the field on third down. Michigan's great on third down too. And they get off the field on third down. So when I watch Michigan, I look at them and go, man, what a complete team. I just don't think the committee lets them in, man. I just don't, especially if they beat Ohio State and
if they don't beat Ohio State.
If they don't beat Ohio State. Sorry, yeah, if they beat Ohio State, that raises bigger questions. But especially if they don't beat Ohio State, I don't know. This is the time of year where things you start to see. It's like walking into, it's like walking through a tunnel. You start to see a little bit of light in the way things are starting to shape up, and that's why this is fun to talk about, man.
Ohio State's kind of scapegoat is they do have to go to Michigan. Michigan doesn't have the luxury of being like, oh, well, we played them on the road. Like, right. We played them a close game on the road or anything like that. Like, Ohio State has kind of that scapegoat that people will use personally. Go and beat the team. It doesn't really matter where it's played at. You get the advantage every other year. So,
right.
But I just feel like if Washington loses to Oregon, they're not going to get in. But I still think that those two teams would probably be very even. Yeah. And it'd be tough not to put one in the other. But it's more of when you're peaking. Right.
And you make you have another question now that I was going to get to. So you said it. Washington, falls to Oregon. Mm-hmm. Is Oregon in? Does Oregon squeak its way in? Because statistically, they're impressive. Watching them play, they're impressive. Hypothetically, all things equal, FSU runs the table.
Ohio State's in, FSU's in. Who wins Georgia, Alabama?
I'm going to go ahead. I feel really, really good about that Alabama matchup, man. I think Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship.
That just makes it way harder.
I know, but I really do, man. I hate to kind of call my shot. Georgia's playing great football. If you look at what Alabama's done versus what they're doing, the way that they've crawled up each week statistically, they're starting to play really, really good football, man. Really good football. Well, I don't want to be able to say that. Like, I hate the Alabama success.
Okay, so it'd be Ohio State, Florida State, Alabama. So then you got, for the fourth spot, you've got
a one-loss Georgia team or a one-loss Oregon team.
Or a one-loss Washington team.
Possible one-loss Washington team.
Potential one-loss Texas team that beat Alabama.
Like, there's a case
the Big 12.
Are you making a case that if all those things happen, that Texas...
If you're so highly valued on Alabama being so damn good,
But what I'm saying...
Because they went into Roll Tide Stadium and whooped their ass.
They did, but what I'm saying is, if that happens, though, are you considering an Alabama team that's peaking this time of year, a one-loss Alabama team peaking the right time, and a one-loss Texas team peaking at the right time? Are you taking that Texas team? Or not necessarily peaking at the right time, just winning games at the right time? Because a Big 12 championship's not nearly as impressive as an SEC championship, right?
Right. If Alabama beats Georgia, I'll be a believer, but I don't think Alabama...
That's what I'm saying, though. So
but
if
I
that
don't
happens,
think they come close to beating Georgia.
But if that happens, then Texas is
happening.
irrelevant to me because Alabama has the best win.
Okay, so Big 12 champion Texas... one loss. Washington and Oregon both lose. Like, there's so many scenarios.
That's what I'm saying.
And we've got, 3 more weeks to figure it out?
And that's where it all starts to really shape up, right? And we get clear answers to some of these things.
Oh, yeah, the end of the season with your rivalries and all that.
Right, and you start to see who's playing well in big games against good competition and who's not. And that's one of the things that I like about Florida State. I've watched them play in big games. I watched them against a Duke team that I thought was pretty impressive, just
Yeah, they've been
dismantle that Duke team.
Yeah, that Duke team's kind of fallen off and everything, but their quarterback's been injured. And they were a team that Florida State played whenever they were on a high note.
Yeah,
so.
well, and Florida State's finding ways to win games in conference, too. They struggle a little bit with Pitt.
Yeah.
And then they're finding ways to get these things done. We've watched Ohio State find ways to pull out games. So I won't hold any tough in-conference games against anybody, especially on the road in college football.
This is like Vanderbilt.
If you get it done, you get it done. And I'm excited to see the way this all shapes up. So we've talked Michigan, Bub.
Yeah.
We've talked the scandal a little bit. Tell me, how big of a deal is this in the college football landscape going forward in your eyes? Because I don't think that Michigan gets into when it's all said and done, dude. I really don't know that this Michigan team finds itself into the top 4 when we find out all the details and all of this.
I don't think it's really going to impact Michigan's chances of getting in.
You don't think so?
No.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I just don't.
Okay.
I don't really think.
So are you anticipating Coach Harbaugh back on the field for Ohio State?
No.
But I think he'll be on the field for Ohio State?
No, I don't think Harbaugh. Like, I feel like they would be like, hey, Harbaugh, you get in or whatever. Like, Michigan gets in the playoffs, you still ain't coaching until next season.
Who says that?
NCAA.
So you're saying that's the maximum? You're saying that's the maximum penalty that Michigan's going to get. It's going to be Harbaugh based versus Michigan.
Yeah, I don't think Michigan as a team gets punished.
Yeah,
I think Harbaugh, some coaching staff members, whatever, get punished. Maybe a fine on Harbaugh.
Okay. So you think that the NCAA is going to go a different route with it, and it's not going to have an impact on Michigan's college football chances? It's interesting.
I think Michigan's too much money.
Yeah. Well, especially, right, if Ohio State lands a 3 seed.
Well, you're going to have that 1v2 matchup.
And then Michigan, if they can land Ohio State, Michigan, money-wise, that makes a lot of sense in a college football playoff, especially considering that Georgia might fall into that 1 spot if Alabama gets or the 4 spot if Alabama gets the 1. So, moving right along. I'm kidding. I just had to see the look on your face, dude. Chill. Not big on the Tide, but Bubba, you are big on Penix Energy.
Yeah.
We love the big Penix Energy.
He balls out.
Well, Penix and the balls out. Penix balls out. And
no, he's been good, averaging like 350 yards a game.
Yeah.
I feel like he's getting very underlooked as a quarterback.
Yeah.
What
are some of the things that you really like? I'm sorry to cut you off, man. What are some of the things that you like about Michael Penix?
Well, used to play at Indiana, so he's kind of had like a long career.
Okay.
He's developed over and everything, and I feel like
the
guy I seen at Indiana, like we were always worried about him as Ohio State fans and everything, but he never really shined whenever he played us. I think he might have had maybe one game where he kind of balled out, but I've just seen him develop into like a really good quarterback at Washington.
Yeah.
I hate that he's left-handed, but
that's a tough one. But Tua's shown that we can make that work if anybody this season, right? So if anyone's if ever there's a time, if ever there's a time, I like his game, man. I like watching him play. I hate that I can't truly believe in Washington because I would love to. I've got so many questions on that defense. His game's incredible, dude. He's a confident quarterback. I mean, he's not afraid to sling it. I don't love the interceptions we find ourselves picking up along the way, but I like his game, man. I like that he's got confidence in his guys and he'll throw it wherever. He can do it from a number of different ways. He'll throw it to the outside of the field.
Well, when you got 3 receivers that are just straight studs.
Yeah, and he adds to them, and he makes his guys look better.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what all quarterbacks do. And he's doing it with different types of receivers too. So I like his game. As the season starts to really unfold, I think it's really going to show what his chances are, as it will for a lot of other guys. I can't believe that Blake Corum's not getting more love in the Heisman game. Marvin Harrison, personally, I think is the best player in the country.
Yeah, when you just talk about like a football player.
Yeah, if I'm picking
Marvin Harrison's a football player.
If I'm watching football, then someone puts a gun to my head and says, "Hey, you show me right now who the best college football player in the country is." That one right there, number 18 for the Buckeyes. Episode 18, Marvin Harrison Jr. Love that.
Wimby.
That's my selection. Oh, we're approaching We're
In-season
approaching
tournament.
game time here, man. This is going to be a lot of fun. Chet Wemby, we're going to get to that Chapter 1 matchup here. Yeah, bub. College football landscape is shaping up to be a lot of fun. It's going to be, it's going to be great to watch it unfold.
Oh,
It's
I can't
gonna be
wait to
magical.
see who comes out of tonight as the 1 seed.
It's going to be great. It's going to be
And
great.
let's see if Michigan gets in.
Yeah. Yes. So let's ask this. So we got your top 4 now. I want to go here right now.
Yeah.
If at the end of the year, the way everything has the possibility of shaping up, the winners, the losers, all of it, who are you calling to make the top 4?
Who's my one, they're making
what
it 100%?
No, guess a 4.
Okay.
Just try to predict your 4 that you think's going to make it. If you need a moment, I've got a 4 in mind I'll begin with.
No, are we saying yes, Michigan is playing?
Yeah, we'll just assume, the NCAA goes a different route. Yeah.
I'm going to say Michigan,
Okay.
Georgia, Washington,
So Michigan getting the 1 means
and Florida State.
you don't have Ohio State making it.
I don't think Ohio State goes into Michigan and
Wow.
beats Michigan.
Wow.
I'm a big fan of Ohio State, and I'll be cheering.
That's a big call.
But on my unbiased opinion, no, I don't think they do it.
That's a big call, and
Michigan's got the better quarterback. Blake Corum's just as equal to Travion Henderson, probably even better.
Sure.
No, Marvin Harrison is significantly head and shoulders better than any receiver Michigan has. Not saying they're bad. It's just he's the best receiver.
Right.
He's a generational talent, probably.
Yeah.
Iboka's still a pretty good receiver, so give Ohio State the receiver core.
Yeah, absolutely.
Edge rushers, Ohio State probably wins, but I like the interior two of Michigan.
Yeah.
So
I actually agree with you on this, and I've fought with myself for 24 hours since we kind of planned this whole episode out, and we really dove into some of these things. I just don't have the confidence at the quarterback position, man. I just don't. If we do get by Michigan, my hat is going to be freaking off to Ryan Day, man, because he's going to have to coach the game of his life to go into Michigan and get that done with the hostility that we're going to face in the big house as Buckeye fans. It's going to be a time. Bub, go ahead.
Michigan. Man, I forgot what I was going to say.
I know.
I hate that.
I watched you pull your hand away from the
I was
table.
just like, dang.
That's what I called on you. I literally waited for that
I was
moment.
just like, thanks for that. So, go ahead.
What you did to me earlier. Going to be a tough one for Ohio State to go into the big house. Get it done against Michigan. By the way, one quick moment here. Michigan tradition that you and I absolutely love. The one Michigan tradition that you and I love. The banner.
Yeah.
The pregame banner, the players running, jumping, smacking the banner. The Ironman used to do it back in the late 90s, 2000 run.
Yeah,
We
it's a
got to
pretty
bring
cool
that
tradition.
back. This Ironman, I'm going to make a proposal. Can we bring back that banner idea? That was such a cool thing. Love that. I don't know. Maybe we're talking a little bit out of the way here, but I loved it. But the banner.
Yeah.
Little me in my mesh net football jersey, just dreamed one day, bub. Dreamed of slapping that banner, and then there was no banner. And here we are. Back to Ohio State, Michigan. Going to be a tough way for them to go into the big house to get that one done. So you've got Ohio State falling to Michigan. Your top 4 shapes up to be go.
Michigan, Georgia, Washington, and Florida State, because I don't really see anybody beating Florida State, but I think the ACC is probably the worst conference.
Yeah.
If Florida State loses, Texas.
Yeah. So, Bub, that's actually going to bring us into the NFL weekend. What a weekend it was.
Yeah.
It was an interesting weekend, particularly in the AFC North.
Tough week of picking games.
It was a very tough week of picking games, and we're going to get to that part. But let's talk about this AFC North race. Playoff race, rather. This is shaping up to be an epic run.
Yeah, the 1 o'clock games were banging.
Yeah.
Cleveland started off against the Ravens down 14-0 really quick. Deshaun Watson throws a tip pick to Kyle Hamilton.
Right.
And I thought the Ravens were kind of going to roll away with it, but Cleveland managed to just pull it back. And that defense is stout. Like, they make the big play anytime they need to. They kind of shut Lamar down in the second half.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett's just stronger than hell.
Yeah,
and
he's
athletic.
that guy. Yeah.
And a freak of nature.
He is. Personally, I was pretty impressed by Deshaun Watson's second half.
Yeah, his first half was bad.
His first half was pretty rough, but second half went 14 of 14. Perfect in the second half, and really
Start figuring it out.
Yeah, really helped lead that team. Really makes you wonder what happened at halftime in the Cleveland locker room, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. It does. But we're not going to worry about that, bub, because ultimately the Browns got the dub. They beat a really good Ravens team.
Keep the Ravens down for a week. They skewed up a win.
Yeah. And now the Ravens have to come back and need a crucial win this week against Cincinnati on Thursday night football.
Yeah. Good for them. The Bengals are also coming off a pretty tough loss as well.
They are the 1 o'clock game against the Texans. That matchup against C.J. Stroud didn't exactly pan
Ohio.
out. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I did see that.
I know you probably didn't care for that.
A shit less at that point.
That's the second one.
Well, yeah,
I missed one.
Yep.
Why didn't you tell me?
Nope, you should have heard.
Oh,
see, that's why you don't listen to me.
That's the first one we're celebrating, bub. You just cuss all the time, and I'm used to it. I got 30 years of it. I personally was impressed by C.J. Stroud's performance in that matchup.
No, he balled.
I was really, really enjoying that game, start to finish, man. So let me ask you, because this was a hot topic in the group chat. Does that win say more about the Bengals to you or the Texans?
So are you asking me if I think the win is more important for Houston or
no?
the
I'm
loss
asking you
is
which
worse?
does it tell you more about the team of the Houston team or the Bengals?
No, I mean I think it tells you more about Houston. I think Cincinnati God.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about that game.
Well, here's the thing.
Cincinnati they play down to their opponents. They play up to their opponents. And when they're playing up, they play really, really good. And when they play down, they will keep themselves down until they absolutely have to turn it on.
But how down are we talking? Because this is a Houston team that played well against the Steelers, right? They beat the Steelers, played well against a Ravens team.
It's a Houston team that has been unproven.
Well, it's a Houston team. It's just been
they're sitting at 5-4. Yeah, exactly.
Is what it is.
When you're unproven, nobody knows what's going to happen. So you're sitting at 5-4 now, right behind the Jags. They could be that dark horse team to get into the playoffs.
Absolutely. I mean, they're
start causing mayhem.
I think you're going to look at Houston and really start to go, okay, yeah, that's my pick in the South.
Cincinnati has such a stupid track record with Houston too. It's so dumb.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And
you're really upset by this.
Yeah, we lost to a backup kicker.
Lost to a backup.
He was a backup
You lost
kicker.
to C.J. Stroud.
No, the kicker kicked.
No, you lost to C.J. Stroud. The kicker made field goal.
No, we lost. Boy,
you lost to C.J. Stroud. You did
catch the ball.
No, Tyler Boyd, right? He makes that catch, right?
Ooh,
That's
Chet
something.
With an early.
Okay. What are we seeing?
Chet just missed an early mid range. Wimby got the board. He's really tall.
Wimby is that's a mismatch. Yeah, this is going to be
good double.
Chet helping out. Okay. And we're going to have to
nice.
stop. This is going to be a great game, by the way.
I know.
What a time that's going to be. The AFC North definitely shaping up to be an interesting one. I don't know what to expect in this division right now. I really don't. I don't believe in the Steelers. I think winning record is probably their peak. I don't know how they sneak into the playoffs, man. I really, really don't.
They keep winning games.
I know, and somehow, but it's at some point. Right, you're not going to play the Packers anymore. I don't know what the rest of their schedule looks like, but they got to be each of these three teams, right? Another time. I just don't know that I'm taking them against either of those three teams right now, even with Cincinnati.
I just think any team in that division can beat anybody.
It's such a volatile.
It is, and that's a tough thing because it's back into the season. They're all going to play each other within a 3-week span or something.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy.
And they're all close.
Definitely going to be fun to see the way that one shapes up. The AFC is becoming an interesting conference overall. Bills aren't playing great football. The Broncos, for some reason, are winning games now. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. You got the Dolphins that are going to make that a lot of fun.
Dolphins leading the AFC East now.
Right. And then on the other side of the other conference, you've got an Eagles team that's playing unbelievable football. The Cowboys seem to be figuring it out, and the 49ers, coming off of a bye, have absolutely smashed Jacksonville in Jacksonville.
And
who are the Super Bowl?
Vikings are revived.
The Vikings.
Josh Dobbs.
The Vikings have been completely revived by Josh Dobbs, and I'm loving the Vikings, man. Loving it. Again, They were definitely my pick to win that division, and this is exactly the way I saw them winning it, bub.
But the Lions are very good as well.
Yeah, the Lions are fun. Lions are definitely playing great football as well. Monday, they had
only one game ahead of the Vikings right now, though.
What is it?
Only one game ahead of the Vikings.
Yeah,
as far as wins.
Right, they had a Sunday afternoon matchup though that I thought was intriguing there with LA.
I know the Chargers are really faltering this season.
Yeah, it's kind of a disappointing season for the Chargers. So far. We'll see if they can turn it around. And definitely the division to turn it around in if you needed to.
Wouldn't you just know?
He's so good. 7'4" space Martian. Who do you like as Super Bowl contenders here, bub? After a pretty interesting Week 10 in the NFL.
I'm gonna say I think NFC. I'm gonna say the obvious one is the Eagles, but if I had a second one, I would say Detroit.
Okay.
I really like the Lions.
Yeah.
AFC, I don't think it's the Chiefs to win right now. I still think I'm going to go with the Ravens right now. I'm not 100%, so it's going to be Patty's to lose.
Yeah.
He's
I got the Eagles and Chiefs, so I'm with you. Yeah, I'm Eagles, Chiefs.
But if I want to just play devil's advocate, let's go Ravens and Lions.
Okay, I like it. I'd like to see it switched up a little bit this year, and
I think Lamar could have a run.
I'm hoping so. I would really like to see that athletic quarterback finally get the stamp. You know what I mean? Like that Super Bowl stamp. We've seen so many of these guys get to that point, and just no one really put that stamp on that run. Russell Wilson, maybe.
Yeah.
That,
he was a good athlete.
Yeah, Patty, pretty athletic.
Yeah,
Patty's in a different way.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Patty. He can be an athlete.
Right.
He's just not going to burn you with speed.
Right. Lamar is elusive. So I would love to see that, man. I would love to see that Mike Vick type that we grew up watching, the Mike Vick, Donovan McNabb type, finally get one. So it'd be fun to see. Let's go ahead and shift gears here because I'm ready to get to this matchup here. Wemby, Chet. We've got it turned on. Blinders on the score. Who you like tonight in this one?
Oh, yeah, Thunder, I really can't see the score. So
the Thunder, the Spurs, man.
I'm going to say I really like the Thunder here.
I do, too. I like the Thunder.
I like Shea. I think he's good. Josh Giddey's been pretty solid for him.
Josh Giddey's great.
Chet, this is a good matchup for him. They're both pretty lanky.
Yeah. I'm just interested to see this matchup. But now, I like the Thunder tonight. Who, between these two guys, man, longevity, career, who do you like? Who would you take if you had to draft him tomorrow? You have the number one pick, Chet, Wemby. Wemby?
Yeah.
Why is that?
2 years younger, 2 inches or 3 inches taller.
Yeah.
More athletic, more fluid with the ball.
Yeah.
He looks like a NBA athlete.
Yeah, I agree.
Just 7'6", and it's so crazy.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. I would agree with that. Love Wemby, and I cannot wait to see what his career flourishes into. And I'm excited to get done with this, and we can turn that on and eat some pizza, bub.
I know, I can smell it.
Pizza.
Yeah, pizza.
Bub. All right, well, Bub, that's going to be it for us as far as content goes. I'm going to go ahead and give a few mentions, if I may, here. Congrats to our buddy Matt Hump, who we did a feature on in the 740 Spotlight. He and the Ohio State University Club football team traveled to East Lansing to take on Michigan State, and dominated, Bub. They dominated. Shut out the Spartans.
What was 45-0?
I believe it was 49-0 final.
Okay.
And shut out the Spartans in East Lansing. Just to give you an idea of the caliber team that Michigan State is, they are one of the 4 teams in the top 4 of their college football playoffs. So they're on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah.
Ohio State is going to be taking on Sacred Heart this Saturday. 7 p.m. in the Glass Bowl in Toledo, Bub.
Sacred Heart, club team?
Yes.
Or Sacred Heart, football team? Do they even have a football team?
Well, it's club team.
Okay.
But yeah. I mean, it's all club.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah. So, and then Michigan State is on the other side again, so I'm going to try to get this right. I want to say it's Central Georgia Technical something or other. But they, I think, won the national championship last year. I think they beat Ohio State in the national championship. So could be an interesting rematch there. So so wishing y'all the luck in the world this weekend, Matt Hump. Go get a dub. Get your team to the national championship. Go have some fun. That's in Pittsburgh, Bub. Did you know that? You do now. The national championship will be in Pittsburgh. Matt Hump, hopefully, going to help get his team back there. Another mention, another shout out I would like to give. Our buddy Rodney Campbell, Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have Facebook?
Nope.
I do, and Rodney Campbell does too. And he was our top Facebook friend for the last week or so. So I'd like to mention Rodney Campbell and give him a congrats. Thank you, sir. We love hearing from you. We love hearing what you have to say. We love the fired up texts, the fired up captions. He's just a dude, Bob. Rodney Campbell's a dude.
Okay.
His son Boston's a dude. Plays Ironman basketball. Did you know that?
I believe you told me that.
I did tell you that. He knew that one. And Boston Campbell getting ready to start the season for the Ironman. Yeah. Coach Mario Boston Campbell, good luck to you. And we're going to be...
might be seeing one of their games.
Might be seeing a game or two. So
talk you into that.
Looking forward to that. But before we wrap up here, as always, I ask every week, do you have anything else? And you say every week...
No, I don't.
Yeah, and you think about it every week, too.
Yeah, I mean, I give it a fair shot.
Do you?
Kinda.
Not really.
Like, it's about half a second, I thought. It's like, no, nothing to mind.
No, added value. Okay, well, Bob.
Oh, the volcano in Iceland. I got to get back to watching that after this, too, so...
Yeah, we'll get back to turning on the volcano in Iceland and see if we can get that in multi-view with Chet and Wemby.
Or molten view.
What's the matter with you? That's it. We're getting up. We're done.
Bye.